So, PokeArt, what's the difference between someone who fell from the second floor to the one falling from the 10th floor?
Um, the difference you're asking? Because I'm pretty sure the difference is it's a pretty significant height difference, if that's what you mean.
The one who falls from the second floor goes boom, ah, while the one who falls from the 10th floor goes ah, boom.
What?
That is a joke. That is one cringy joke just for the record books. Hey everyone, this is McCoy welcoming you back to another episode of the TLT podcast. I am joined by the one from the 10th floor to my one from the second floor.
Bulgaria 2004, and no, I'm not on the 10th floor. In fact, I'm on the second floor.
Wow. And I'm actually at the 10th floor. So we're backwards. Yay. Okay, last time we talked about round 2 recap and round 3 predictions. And we're going to talk now about round 3 recap and round 4 predictions. So, round 3. This has been the most significant of the TLT weeks so far because there were actually quite a ton of upsets, wouldn't you say?
I'd say.
This week was probably like the biggest week in terms of upset, that it's really hard to predict a upset for the year. Well, there's one outlier, but we're going to talk about them. But the rest, you kind of can see how they won if you paid attention to the matches and actually watched them from start to finish, like we did. And there's only 8 matches, so right. So we actually watched all the matches. Aren't we diligent in today?
Yes.
So, let's now talk about every single match that happened this week. Actually, like 6 out of 8 matches actually played because 2 had to drop. 2 players had to drop, and it was really unfortunate.
Yeah.
So, first off, we got Lady Rider versus CLO. Lady Rider won in 3, I believe. Yes. And this one was a very you can kind of see an evenly matched matchup between these two because these two were actually really decent in their strongest tiers. But there were some significant moments that happened in these games. First of all, the PU game. We got early toxic wars at the start, especially with CLO's Charizard being toxic and trying to toxic most of Lady Rider's Mons.
Yeah, what stuck out to me was that with Charizard, he tried toxicking an already toxic Sandslash. I almost said Sandshrew. Because he was predicting the switch the switch into Gigalith. Sure, he didn't. Lady Rider didn't actually switch into it that turn, but he did the next turn, and CLO saw that coming.
Yes, it was
a second time in a row and successfully poisoned the Gigalith.
Yeah, it was a very out prediction toxic wars, which I'm kind of happy about because you wouldn't really expect a Charizard. Well, you wouldn't really expect a Gigalith to try to. You wouldn't expect Charizard to try to stay in against a Gigalith of all things. There. Speaking.
Well, it didn't. What do you mean?
Oh, it didn't. Oops. I was. Then choose my words carefully that next time, me.
What happened is that the Sandslash was out.
Charizard
tried toxicking it one turn, and the next turn it switched out into Gigalith, and the Charizard successfully predicted that
and toxicked
the Gigalith.
Right.
And switched out the next turn because obviously, like you said, no one's crazy enough to keep their Charizard in against a Gigalith unless they're certain it isn't going to attack.
That's true. Speaking of attacking, Cinccino was the MVP of this game. Very, very effective in this game, might I add.
I'd say.
Lady Rider basically outplayed game-wise. Lady Rider basically outplayed Audino being regen fodder, as well as the rest of the team being bulky and effective. Not really much to say. I think Lady Rider did well. It's expected because Lady Rider mains the two. Duh.
Although, may I ask, what item was the Chinchino?
I'm thinking Choice Band, but hey.
No, it wasn't.
Well,
I'm asking because it's not choice. That's why I asked.
Oh. Well, tell us in the comments below, Lady Rider, or anyone
Was it
who wants
like
to
expert bell or something?
Maybe. Who knows? Monotype was next, which featured water versus electric, which is, a great matchup if you're wanting to fish for matchups, or not, probably not. Probably it's the look of the draw, because Monotype's always like that. Lady Rider could not just outplay Cielo here. Gastrodon was really Lady's only real out, but there's Grass Knot Tapu Koko to worry about, so.
Oh, not only that, it was just very hard to use it to wall things in general because it got poisoned early.
Yes, that also happened, and it's bad when your only effective wall gets poisoned. Which really put a dent in Lady Rider and forced CLL to turn it into game 3, which was Yu, and Lady Rider looked hella dominant in this matchup. There were some early toxic wars at the start, just like PU. It was much more evenly balanced, I'd say, rather than, just a Charizard. CLO's Cobalion looked to be dangerous, but it just kept losing team members quickly. It was CLO, I think, was heavily reliant in this game. CLO's Cobalion was very heavily relied upon, although losing the rest of the support really put a dent in the way the game turned out. Lady Rider had the advantage most of the time and ultimately won the series.
I don't know about you, Mikoi, but you just cut out a lot.
What?
Alright.
Next up, one of the few upsets and probably the most upsetting thing. Well, actually, if you're a fan of Decem, then it's pretty upsetting. Lucas Joel beat him in 3. A very surprisingly competitive match, and Lucas Joel performed better than anyone would have expected, I think. Okay, OU, it started off slow, okay? OU, Decem started off very strongly. But then the turn of the game, the tide of the game, it started to shift a little bit when Lucas Joel effectively used Tapu Koko and Victini, and it was claiming kills left and right, and you would think, oh, Lucas Joel may have a chance of winning. The end game, it was a lot closer than a lot of people would expect. Lucas Joel basically won because he kept Koko alive to out-terrain Rillaboom, so he couldn't get the Grassy Glide off. So, again, Lucas Joel, props to him for beating Decem at his own game.
I'm giving props to no one. That game was terrible.
What? No, that game was pretty close. Why do you think it's terrible?
Around the end, Decem was just playing really badly.
Okay, that one, yeah. I don't know why. I don't know what Decem's mind.
He threw the game very hard, Mikoi. He had that, but was just making a lot of bad plays. It was not hard, right? I won't say that. No, I won't say it wasn't hard, but it was pretty clear what he needed to save, I think, and he just...
You would think the monkey?
You need to, of course, save the monkey, and I don't remember the game. It's been a few days since I don't remember the exact details of the game. It's been a few days since I've seen it, but yeah, point is, I just remember making such faces and of confusion and dread at seeing some of those plays.
So you weren't thinking Lucas Joel was going to win that way, right?
You really shouldn't have. I don't know what happened with the Sam endgame.
All right. Well, I thought it ended up very close, so it
It
shouldn't have
was
been.
close, and I don't think it should have been.
All right, RU was next, and this one was very. It was kind of evenly paced, but this one is clearly in Decem's favor. Chandelure got to Oko wheezing at one point, which must have satisfied you.
Yeah.
Seismitoad being water absorbed just utterly walled the Suicune. And then Special Crobat ended up winning for Decem, which was, again, I like Special Crobat in RU, so props to Decem for using it. And then else.
Yeah, looking at this, yeah, the Sim just played better.
Yes. And
There
then
were still some turns here and there that made me wonder what the heck he was doing, but he still did it.
And then LC happened, and this one I gotta question some of. This one was the game that made me question the Sim's plays because the Sim has been playing very up and downy. If you think the Sim's been playing up and downy from this point on, wait till you see LC.
I've seen LC.
Yeah, this one was the most. This one you're gonna be the most critical here. Lucas Joel's Poniard ended up beating Decem by knocking out its berry juice and then critting it the next turn, which was pretty unfortunate. But Decem, why would you sack your Poniard that way?
Yeah, that was a bit odd, but another thing, I'm pretty sure Decem should have had this game had he used coughing right.
Yes.
Because there was a point where Lucas Joel was down to Mons that pretty much lost to coughing.
And then losing coughing was definitely a bad omen. And had he kept it,
pretty much what cost him the game, I think, because he kind of needed the coughing.
True.
Like that beat basically everything Lucas Joel had left at the time,
especially against the Gurky, which we'll get into. Abra got. There was this pretty significant turn that happened where Abra got to full health via grassy terrain, and it was enough to use the sash to kill Gurky. That was a pretty significant turn, IMO. Gurky did end up cleaning the rest of the game, even against a sleeping Tyrant, which it got spored upon thanks to Fungus. But yeah, Lucas Joel beat the Sem.
I feel like Sem should have sacked that Tyrant earlier.
Yes.
So
why didn't he?
You can have a clean switch in to, coughing. I may be remembering that wrong, but I'm pretty sure I recall that being a possible option, which he did not go for, and thus had to, and thus, didn't work out.
Oh well.
I just
face
come
palm.
on. How do you not win with coughing by that point?
The epic face palm by PokeArt. And yes, I epically face palmed as well. Unfortunate that Decem had to go. He is one of the favorites to win until, he's had a pretty questionable TLT run, let's just say, in terms of in the tour matches. So, yeah. Next up, another upset, but this time it wasn't anyone's fault, really. It's JJ09 versus Udon Girl, and Udon Girl dropped out.
Yep.
Unfortunate. And maybe it was because of the scheduling woes she had last round, but I'm not gonna say anything. It's just really unfortunate that we got to lose Udon Girl, and especially in the role in the placement that we put her. Like we legit thought she was S tier material and could easily go all the way had she had been a little bit more lucky in terms of playing.
Had she had a more open schedule, I guess.
Oh well. Ah well, it's unfortunate, but it happens. Next up, Martin versus Jordy. This one was an interesting series. First of all, doubles saw substitute Landorus outplaying Rillaboom at the start. Would you have happened to experience in substitute Landorus in any doubles game you've seen, Pokeart?
Possibly? I don't really remember. I mean, I don't play it super often. I just sort of do tours for it time to time, and I mean room tours, so.
But substitute Landorus.
Yeah. If I have seen it, it's certainly uncommon.
Jordy pretty much dominated this game, though. Martin only had Chansey as the special wall, and granted, it is a great special wall, but the rest of the team members just kept losing to Naganadel and Volcanion, which pretty much were MVPs.
I mean, not gonna lie, if you look at the teams here on preview, if you look at the teams, I think Jordy kind of just wins on preview.
I guess, but Martin was damn near playing well as well, so he wasn't slouching in terms of this game. OU was a pretty interesting one as well. Martin tried to go full hazard stack at the beginning, even bringing out one wild charge Thunderous to take out Blissey. And then
Martin's team was interesting.
It was basically hazard stack until it got defogged by Zapdos later on in the game.
I mean, sure, it was hazard stack on what? Mew's part only?
Yeah, I guess. Wasn't there one that spikes?
The word you're looking for, Miko, is hyper offense.
Oh, right, because, Mew stack plus hyper offensive, it only makes sense.
No, just literally look at that team on preview. That's 5 offensive mons.
And Mew just being hazard stacked.
Yes.
Alright, so Martin seemingly had the matchup won with Galarian Moltres, I think. But that crucial miss with Hurricane against Clefable was really costly, and it took it out, along with Kartana.
Yes, it did.
So, unfortunately, Martin had to lose, but great job for Jordy, and moves on.
I thought it was possible for him to win with Kartana, but he used knockoff and didn't kill the Clefable right away. So
they could use Swords Dance as well. Swords Dance and knockoff, and still didn't kill Clefable.
Well, yeah, obviously, because it's not very effective.
Yeah.
Clefable has bulk.
Yeah, bulky Clefable is a curse against any Kartana, unless you're a Smart Strike.
Basically, if he, I understand why he went knock. That very well could have switched into the Corviknight, and knockoff might have actually killed at that range.
True.
But yeah, he knockoffed, and the Clefable didn't die, obviously. And thus, Kartana got hit with Moonblast, and it got into low red, and it was a Life Orb Kartana, so it only had 2 hits left.
True. It couldn't really be bulky.
Or did it have 1? I think it had 2.
It had 2. So yeah, Jordy picks up the win. Well done. Let's see how he progresses in this next round. Next up, Pokemon Cestor versus Sanjay Das. And if you're thinking we're going to have another upset, no, Sanjay Das dropped out. So I think that's actually.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think the result would have changed.
But PCD once again moves on. Next up, El Cap versus Banbadoro. I did say in the predictions that I think El Cap. I predicted El Cap to win, and lo and behold, he did. And he won even before I got to predict for him.
I think that's his way of putting a my bad. I think that's his way of giving you the finger.
Which finger? The ring finger? Will you marry? Okay, no. First off, doubles. We saw Mal losing his Incineroar pretty early on, which was really bad for Mal because 2/3 of his team, Incineroar just kind of walls it, doesn't it?
2/3 of El Cap's team.
Yeah. Wasn't what Incineroar kind of just. Well, Incineroar has the advantage. Well, Incineroar had the advantage for 2/3 against El Cap's team.
I wouldn't say it was super major. I mean, sure, fire is useful versus, fire. Sure, fire and dark is useful versus Celestial and Mew and
Mm-hmm.
Amoonguss.
Yes.
But it's not like Intimidate really comes into play there.
I guess.
I don't think it was super. I mean, losing the fake out is that was more detrimental. I feel.
Yeah, just having an early fake out user really could have put a stop to El Cap's team, and Mal just didn't use it to his advantage.
Again, he did have Rillaboom, and I think that was also fake out.
Yeah, had he started off with a double fake out, I think he would have had the game would have been in his favor more or less. But credit to El Cap, he did use Trick Room very effectively in this matchup. Just using Mew as a good wall and just generally having coverage for pretty much most of Mal's team. He had Earth Power and Ice Beam on his Mew.
Honestly, I just felt like Mal didn't play this too well.
Yeah, that's what I've also noticed. Like, El Cap definitely played better of the two. It's still a pretty bad match. PU wasn't much better. Hitmonlee being, Hitmonlee and being the early threat that it is, and El Cap just loves to spam Hitmonlee. Mal.
Literally, this entire team is filled with things El Cap likes to spam.
Mal lost his Rapid Spinner pretty early on, just giving himself a disadvantage against webs.
Yeah, you see, I mean, it's not like his team is fast to begin with, though.
But, still having that advantage, you just putting a stop to El Cap, basically.
It made so his little spiky mouse, Togedemaru, could not outspeed anything.
Yeah.
And that Sandslash in Sand could not outspeed anything except,
What?
Well, actually, I guess it could have outsped some of these, but... Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get my point.
Yeah. El Cap, nothing much to say about this game either. El Cap basically destroyed Mal using special Archeops.
Just overwhelmed him with hyper offense.
Special Archeops and Gallade just shredded through Mal's team. Yeah, this was...
Oh, well, special Archeops, that's something El Cap spams.
Yeah, I mean, it's not common. I don't see it as, a common occurrence. But I've seen it enough to know.
El Cap has literally always brought it.
I've seen enough El Cap games to know that he would bring special Archeops. So, yeah.
Yes, literally in every room tour for PU, he brings the special Archeops.
No, not just any room tour, every TLT. Any tours room event.
That too, apparently.
Any tours room event. So yeah, El Cap moves on. The dark timeline is still rages on. Next up, TDR versus Skelly.
Yeah, can I just say I am actually a bit surprised that how unprepared Mal seemed.
Yeah.
Like, come on. I think most of us know El Cap spams hyper offense because that's literally like his trademark, right?
I mean, they did play pretty early on into the week, so.
Yeah, so clearly I think Mao did not prepare at all.
Oh well. Maybe he wanted to try a tried and true team, but unfortunately, El Cap knew better. And by not knowing
No,
any
it's
better.
not that El Cap. Yeah, exactly.
El Cap knew better by
He
not
just
knowing
stuck
any
to what
better.
He just stuck to what he likes to do.
Yep.
And
Apparently it's
Mal,
effective.
I think, did the same, and
It didn't work. Didn't work. Only reserved that for El Cap being the lazy one. Actually prep against him next time. Alright, next up, Skelly versus TDR. Another upset. But this one isn't quite as upsetting as Lucas Joel versus Decem, would you say?
yes, I would say.
Because TDR actually looked good.
Although it ain't the best, that PU game was a bit unfortunate.
Yep, let's talk about that first. The PU game saw Whimsicott destroying Lycanroc in the first 3 turns. Yeah, Whimsicott being a lead against the Lycanroc who wanted to Stealth Rock. Not exactly the ideal choice, but you kind of get it.
Yeah, it was a suicide Stealth Rock lead.
Well. Uxie's stored powered set. Working kind of wonders. Even a +3 double aid couldn't 2-hit KO it.
Well, it was using Shadow Sneak, to be fair, and I get the feeling that was the only ghost move it had.
I guess.
Because, I mean, Shadow Claw was 100% the better option if it had it.
Yeah, especially going through the +1 defense that Uxie had because it had Grassy Seed. Auroras had a pretty cool Refrigerate Power Herb set, not gonna lie. Just killing half of X-Skelly's mons. So, yeah, I think TDR absolutely, did not outplay Skelly, just brought some pretty niche sets to beat a very standard PU team.
Although, bear in mind, Skelly's Gigalith got crit.
It was pretty nasty, although I didn't think it hurt, but apparently it did.
It did.
Well. Unfortunate that that crit happened, but yeah. Mons. Gen 8. We had to kill Gen 8 before it dies. Gen 9's already here, though. DOU. Trick Room plus Stack Attacka was a pretty dangerous combo here.
Yeah.
TDR putting safety goggles against Zapdos to block out Amoonguss was a pretty wise choice. Game overall was a lot more hyper offensive-y after that. Just both trading kills until Skelly won with Cresselia.
Yeah, the thing that wasn't really doing the killing.
It was
just simply sitting there, surviving on mostly full health, and poisoning things, and watching the other mons just die from the poison.
The thing is, it was the least hyper offensive one, and it stayed until the end.
Yep.
And then Ubers was next. A lot more hyper offensive than most people would like to think. Life Orb Yveltal was a pretty nice surprise. Just beating out Lando and then taking a chunk out of Eternatus.
I say a bigger surprise than that was seeing Audino in an Uber's game.
That's right. Audino appeared in Ubers for probably the first time.
Shows Skelly really likes PU, huh?
He just couldn't resist bringing out Audino, huh? Substitute Geomancy Xerneas did come in, got encored by Audino, and dodged one Bolt Strike from Zekrom, although it died to 2 afterwards. But yeah, it was again a very nice surprise. Again, we were getting to see a lot of the niche sets coming into play, and this one was definitely one of them. And especially how it ended up, especially how Substitute Eternatus actually ended up winning this game, outspeeding Skelly's Eternatus. Would you think it was a speed tie and TDR's won? That's what I thought.
A minute or so, I couldn't understand. Your internet miss.
So yeah, Substitute Eternatus wins the game for TDR. Unfortunately, we got to say goodbye to Skelly, another favorite going into it, another S tier player we've ranked so high.
Freaking damn it!
Another S tier player gone very early on.
Lapras.
Another Lapras. That's 2 now. 2 Laprases that are out of TLT. Who's left?
None.
Aww.
Literally none.
None. It's a Lapras less TLT. And I have a Lapras plushie. Finally, we come to Fragments versus Skimmy the God. This ended up in 2. Very surprising. Yu, I think Amoonguss should have never been sacked, because losing it gave Skimmy an early disadvantage.
Nothing to say about it. I don't play Yu. I don't know what the hell's going on.
But Keldeo ended up being the MVP of this game because
Which one?
Fragments is Keldeo. Duh.
Brought Keldeo.
Duh. Both of them brought, but obviously the winner's Keldeo was the superior Keldeo. It's been favored against most of Skimmy's team, and it's just claiming kills left, right, and center. And then next up was Ubers, and this one was a fun game to watch. Yveltal being sacked to Zekrom, especially since Fragments had the Magnezone, kind of a questionable play there.
This is the. Wait, what do you mean questionable play? What are we talking about? Repeat that.
It's about the Yveltal being sacked to Zekrom, especially when Fragments had a Magnezone.
Well, you see, he wanted the Magnezone to come in on full.
He's got a Spectre in the back. Actually, maybe he did. I don't know.
No, Fragments is not the one with a Spectrier. Also, that's a Calyrex Shadow Rider, not a Spectrier.
I always confused the two. I'm sorry. Skimmy missing a crucial Dragon Tail and locking it into an already attacking Eternatus. I mean, the miss was pretty unfortunate, but locking into an already attacking Eternatus, those were pretty poor. That was a pretty questionable play, I'd say.
No, Mikoi, I don't think you're being very specific about what you mean.
Okay, you watch the game. What do you
see? When he says locking, he means Skimmy tricked the Eternatus.
Yeah.
With Calyrex.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
He tricked it with Specs, though. And it was using Dragon Pulse that turn. Unlucky for him.
Yeah. Again,
questionable
play.
The actual intention was to stop it from setting up further with, cosmic power.
Did it
Because
have
otherwise he
cosmic?
wouldn't be able
Oh
to
yeah, it
beat
did.
it.
Oh yeah, it did. Questionable, I'd still say. Magnezone ended up
No,
being.
it's not super questionable. He needed to do that. He needed to stop it somehow. Because otherwise he wouldn't be able to kill it.
That didn't matter in the slightest because Magnezone ended up becoming the MVP for this team.
It did kind of matter though, because Gimme wouldn't have had to resort to that if Dragon Tail had hit.
Yeah. Again, the miss was pretty unfortunate. Magnezone ended up becoming the MVP for this game. Just trapping Necrozma, allowing for free setups of Iron Defense, Magnet Rise to get rid of any ground type moves, and then body pressing to sweep. So good on Fragments for winning and beating Skimmy. Beating
With an
Skimmy.
interesting team to boot.
Yep. Congratulations to Fragments. Congratulations to all 8 of these people. And now it's time to predict round 4. Alright, round 4. Winner's bracket and loser's bracket. 15 players. I say 15 because we got a bye. I said 15 players because one already got a bye. Thanks, Wesh. Thanks, Wesh. Thanks for dropping. Aw, sorry, Wesh. Again, very unfortunate Wesh drop, but if we would have gotten a 5-star match against Crying.
Why is it a 5-star match?
I'm thinking wrestling again.
Yeah, I was gonna say that term doesn't really apply here.
Well, speaking of 5-star matches, the winners bracket all have 5-star matches, wouldn't you say?
These are good matchups, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, especially the one Crying versus Bai. That's a great matchup.
Oh yeah, that's the best matchup.
Yeah, that's the highlight. Come on, people. Pay to see Crying beat the absolutely crap out of Bai.
Yeah, we're gonna be saying bye-bye to Bai.
Yep, defending champions have gotten rid of the Bai curse. Okay, for real though. First off, Dunox versus Sice. This one, straight up, this is gonna be close.
Yeah, this could be close. Especially with Dunox losing all of his UU games lately.
Yeah, Dunox. Yeah, what's up with that, Dunox? Why have you been losing? You've lost 2 of the last rounds in your best tier, UU, and you've won the other 2 games in tiers that normally normally you wouldn't have a chance again, especially against better suited players. But still, you still pulled through and won, which is great. Against Sice, who we've always seen as very good. So this one's gonna be hard to pick. I'm gonna say I think Dunox's adaptability into the other metas has been so good that I think I'm gonna vote for them. My hat goes to Dunox.
I was also going to say Dunox.
And don't underestimate Sice. Sice is good. Trust me, I've played him against him in TLT before, so I know how good he is.
You're not exactly that good of a player, though, Mikoi.
I know. I just wanted to reiterate that he's a great player. Please. Next up, the highlight match of the winner's bracket IMO is, despite our praises for Dunox versus Sice being a great highlight match, this one I think is going to be closer than bread. Thiago Nunes versus Spitfire Arcanine. Absolutely.
What the heck does closer than bread mean?
It's an expression, okay? Thiago Nunes.
It's not an expression I've ever heard.
It's an expression to me. Thiago Nunes versus Spitfire Arcanine. Great matchup on paper. Like, how close do you think this will be?
Decently close.
I'm thinking this is gonna be a 3-game series. Oh, it better be a 3-game series. As much as I want,
I'm putting no bets on it being a 3-game series. I'm not saying I don't think it's close, but I think this could very well go in 2 games.
yeah, we've seen a lot of highlight matches be that way, huh?
Guess so.
As much as I want to root for Spitfire Arcanine, I gotta go with Thiago Nunes here. I think Thiago Nunes
I
is
will also go with Thiago Nunez.
that.
And I'm actually thinking this might be a 2-game series. I feel like one side is just going to dominate more than the other,
and
that'll be the end of it.
And you think it's gonna be T Nunes?
Possibly. I'm not saying I'm certain on that though. Like I could see either one dominating the other.
Oh,
It's
gonna be a very interesting watch, and I can't wait to catch it live. I hope I do. What's another matchup that I hopefully will catch live is this next matchup: Balor versus Door Money, or Dalor versus Boar Money, if you catch my drift.
No, I do not.
So that's a game. We've now know what their tiers are gonna be: LC, Ubers, and OU. Okay.
Sounds close.
I think Door Money's gonna take LC. I think Balor's gonna take OU. Ubers kind of evenly split. I think I'm gonna. Oh, well, I want to. Maybe if I keep predicting against Balor, he might actually win the thing. So I'm gonna say Balor wins.
I don't know because I don't know how these guys play in Ubers.
Oh dear. Well, they're evenly split. Let's just say that they're evenly split in terms of skill and Ubers.
Thing is, Door Money's actually seems decent in OU too, so I wouldn't be totally surprised if he takes a win there.
Yeah, I'm not questioning that either. I think Door Money is very, very good in OU. So he might give Balor a run for his money if he does the prepping well and does the playing well. Alright, next up, Crying versus Bye. We already know how this game is going to turn out, so let's move on to the next one. Next up, the losers bracket, we got Lady Ryder versus Lucas Joel. Now, this one is absolutely going to be very. It could go either way. It could be either a highly competitive match, a very dominant display by Lady Ryder, or it could just be another upset. So, who are you picking?
I'm picking Lady Ryder because I don't think they will choke.
Okay, hopefully not. Let's hope not. So let's go for Lady Ryder on this one. Next up,
I wouldn't be surprised if it's in 3 games, though. I don't know how good Lady Ryder is in LC.
We'll have to wait and see on that one. JJ09 versus Jordy. Now that we've seen JJ09 play, well, we have seen only one series from them, but now getting to know JJ09 and his skill, he might put up a fight, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think Jordy's still the better player. So I'm picking Jordy.
Yeah, I'm also picking Jordy, but I wouldn't be totally surprised if JJ09 finally shows us more of what he's made of and actually wins.
Yeah.
But yeah, picking Jordy.
Next up, El Cap versus PCD. I hope this doesn't go the same. I hope this doesn't go the same way the last round has been. So, let's go PCD.
I don't think Pokemon Sister will lose to El Cap.
Let's go PCD. Hopefully, let's go PCD. And then finally,
if PCD wins, El Cap's gone, right?
Yes.
It's what you've been waiting for, Mikoi, isn't it?
The losers bracket. Take the L for life. And then finally,
Take the L. No cap.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna L and then put a cap in it. And finally,
That's not what I said.
finally, we get Fragments versus TDR. Actually, very close this one. Ama?
Fragments.
Wow. Okay, why do you go Fragments?
I just think he's a bit better.
Really? What about TDR?
A bit worse, I guess.
Well, I guess that's the way you put it. I think I'm gonna go the opposite. I think I'm gonna go TDR on this one because after watching these two in this tour so far, I think TDR has come off a little better than Fragments. Even though I don't think Fragments is awful, I think TDR may just take this one in 3 games.
That's a foreseeable outcome. Yeah, I can see that happening. I wouldn't be surprised if it happened.
I wouldn't be surprised if Fragments wins either. This one can go either way, and it would be hopefully a good match between these two. I just hope.
Either way, I think you're right about the 3-game series part.
And that would be the end of this video. Was it, again, a very short one, but that's what you get when you get TLT matches that are very short.
Well, one definition of short in terms of these videos is not terribly short, so how long has it been?
Well, it's certainly better than what we've done. We've only gone for under an hour, let's just say.
Well, of course, but that's still like 50 minutes is long by my standards.
Hey, it's the length of an anime movie. Well, no, actually, no, that's wrong.
Not.
No, if you're an ambitious anime director, I guess you would go 50 minutes. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked. Thank you all for watching. Please like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe. Click that notification bell so you wouldn't miss any of my videos. And tune in next week. We'll cover round 4 recap, round 5 predictions. I need sleep.
Hey, guess what?
What?
No matches have happened. We predicted all the matches. Does that make you feel good?
It makes me feel happy that no one actually tried to know John. And now we have to wait for these.
Not even.
And yeah, not even LCAM. And now we have to wait anxiously for any of these games happening. Anyway, thank y'all for watching. This has been Mikoy, signing out.
Farewell.